Chanakya Pandit, he said something very interesting. He said that if you want to be serious about spiritual life, you should always be carrying one thinking in your mind. And what is that thinking you must always carry if you want to be serious about spiritual life? I can die next moment, not I can die any moment. Any moment means that moment can be far away. I can die next moment. Then you will be serious. Just like you see Parikshit Maharaj, he got a notice for 7 days and he became very serious. Of course, he was a pure devotee, but this shows that Parikshit Maharaj realized, yes, I'm going to die in 7 days. I must be so serious, and he gave up everything. And very seriously he started hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam. So Parikshit Maharaj was served the notice for 7 days. We don't know how many days notice we have. Next moment I may die. So that is how we must think. Recently we heard in the news, Cyrus Mistry, he was traveling from Ahmedabad to Mumbai and a car accident and dead. The whole India was, shocked. Prime Minister sent his condolences. His worth was close to 30 billion US dollars. That is 2 lakh crore rupees. Nobody knew this was going to happen. Just killed on the road. So this could happen to anybody. So I don't know how much time I have to perfect my Krishna consciousness. I have very little time. I have no time. So I must become perfect immediately. And it is possible. That's why Prahlad Maharaj is saying, Kaumaram acharet pragno dharman bhagavatam hiya durlabham manusham janma tadapi adhruvam arthadam. Saying Kaumaram acharet pragno, Krishna consciousness, only intelligent people can understand this, the value of this human form of life. Tadapi adhruvam, although it is temporary. Another problem is we don't realize that this life is temporary. We think, yes, whatever it is, just go on with this life. Tadapi adhruvam arthadam. This life is very, very short-lived, very temporary, but very, very meaningful. But if we don't utilize it, that's why it says, Kaumarama dharman bhagavatam iha. Iha, this is the shortest word in this whole shloka, but the most important word. Iha means, Kaumaram acharet pragno dharman bhagavatam iha. Iha means in this life that you have got, starting from 5 years of age, starting from the beginning, or if we have already not 5 years and if you are 50 years, doesn't matter. Now you start. In this life you have to take to Krishna consciousness very seriously. That's why when Yudhishthira Maharaj was asked, what is the greatest wonder, what is the biggest, most wonderful and astonishing thing? He says the most wonderful and astonishing thing is that although every moment somebody is dying, and they're going to the planet kingdom of death. Ahani ahani bhutani gacchanti yamalayam sheshaha sthavaram icchanti kimascharya mita param. The balance who have not yet met death, they are thinking they will never die. And so they're going on blissfully with the life. Don't know what the life is meant for. Don't know it's meant for Krishna consciousness, for God realization. Life is very short. They have no idea. So Chanakya Pandit says this also. He says 2 things. First thing he says, if you want to be serious about Krishna consciousness, think that you're going to die next moment. But if you're not serious about realizing God, about associating and serving with this beautiful personality, the all-powerful personality, then you should think you will never die. Although that's not the fact. But you live in illusion. Because if you have to enjoy this life, you have to live in illusion. So, we have a very serious business. And for that, every moment we should be conscious. Yes, am I progressing? Am I cleansing my heart? Am I doing my devotional service properly? This is Krishna consciousness. So, why do we not think of death? Or even if we know that there is that, but it doesn't matter to us, doesn't bother us, doesn't strike us that one day I'm going to die and I'm going to leave behind all these things. It doesn't bother us because we are too busy pursuing our material goals, lording over. As Prabhupada says, we've all come here in this material world to lord over. And this lording over tendency is so strong that come what may, we don't want to give it up. Prabhupada, in some places in the Bhagavatam, in order to explain how strong this lording over tendency is, he uses a different word. He says, he doesn't say lording over, he says overlordship. The living entities are engaged in the conditions of material bondage because of their propensity for overlordship. Desire for overlording and for sense gratification is the greatest enemy of the conditioned soul. So you can imagine, we are overlording, not only lording but overlording. And now somebody may ask, okay, how long does this overlordship exist? Till what age will this overlordship exist? Maybe after 50 years, 60 years, my overlordship nature, I will give it up. Then I'll become a little sober. False overlordship, Prabhupada writes, continues until the day of annihilation. Till death, this overlordship tendency is there in us. We don't want to give it up. In fact, when we die with that thinking, and in the next life when we take on another body, we will continue with that overlordship. This strong overlordship is existing in us. And so the desire to get Krishna, desire to serve Krishna doesn't come because I have a different desire. My rasa is just to lord over and enjoy materially. And now you may think that maybe some specific jivas have this desire for overlordship. Only human beings have a desire for overlordship. Maybe some species don't have a desire for overlordship. So it is written, every one of us who have come to this material world, including all species, 84 lakh species, has the sense of overlordship. So the reason why we are here in this material world is this: too many desires, and because of those too many desires, just want to lord over everything. I want to be the lord of all I survey. Wherever I see, wherever I place my hand, whatever I do, I just want to lord over. We have to become humble, we have to become submissive. That is why Krishna, when he says, Sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam raja, give up everything. Prabhupada explains the meaning. Parityajya means to give up all desires, all material desires, all desire for lording over, all desires in the heart, to give it up completely. 100%, 100% we have to give up all these desires. Because if we have desires, then I'll want to lord over. Because unless you lord over, you can't fulfill the desire. So Krishna is very, very merciful. He will fulfill all our desires. Now we have to be intelligent to select what I want to do. Whether I want Krishna or I don't want Krishna. If you don't want Krishna and you have some other desires, Krishna will say, okay, you have some desires, I'll satisfy you. You want to become the king? Krishna will say, okay, I will satisfy you. You become the king. I want to become something else. I want to become a rich man. Okay, you become a rich man. I want to become a dog. Okay, you become a dog. I want to become a cat. Okay, you become a cat. Whatever you desire, I will satisfy. You want Krishna, then you have to give up all these things. Then Krishna will give you. But because we are not desiring Krishna, we are so conditioned to this lording over to the material desires that we are rotating in the cycle of birth and death, in the cycle of 84 lakh species just because of our desires. Prabhupada says in one place that we are rotating in this 84 lakh species life after life due to our damned desires.